This is my story. Watch till the end, and if it touches your heart, subscribe. I hadn't been home in 12 long years. 12 years of high-risk contract work in some of the most dangerous places on Earth. Every single month I sent $25,000 back to my dad in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, so he could live the retirement he truly deserved. After 40 years of hard labor as a mechanic, I even bought him this incredible waterfront mansion with my first major bonus, $4.2 million, infinity pool, private dock, breathtaking views of the marsh turning gold at sunset. It was supposed to be his paradise, his reward for all those years of sacrifice, a place where he could wake up to the sound of waves, go fishing in the morning, play golf with his old friends in the afternoon, and sit on the porch in the evening watching the birds come home. But when I finally completed my last mission and drove down that familiar oyster shell driveway in my rental truck, something felt deeply wrong right from the start. The gates were standing wide open. Dad never left them open. Loud jazz music was playing from the backyard. There were at least 20 luxury cars parked all over the Circle Drive. Mercedes, BMWs, even a shiny red Porsche. This wasn't my dad's kind of gathering at all. He preferred quiet evenings, with a cold beer and a few close buddies, talking about old times. My heart started pounding harder with every step. I parked, got out, and walked slowly toward the house, telling myself it was probably just a surprise party or something innocent. But deep down inside, I already knew something terrible had happened. I moved closer to the large kitchen window overlooking the pool area. The party was in full swing outside. People in expensive clothes laughing, clinking wine glasses, enjoying the beautiful sunset over the marsh. And there, standing at the sink with his back to me, was an old man in a plain gray servant uniform and black pants quietly washing dishes. His movements were slow and painful, white hair thin, shoulders hunched like he was carrying the weight of the world. When he reached up to place a glass on the drying rack and turned just a little, my entire world came crashing down. It was my father, my own dad, the man who taught me everything about strength and honor, now reduced to serving complete strangers in his own home, wearing a uniform like he was hired help. No one thanked him. No one even acknowledged his existence. He was completely invisible to them. I stood there frozen in place, watching him scrub pans with trembling hands while laughter echoed just feet away. My fists clenched so tight I felt pain in my knuckles. Tears filled my eyes, but I forced them back. Because in that moment, all those years of special operations training took over, the discipline that teaches you to control rage, to stay calm when everything inside wants to explode. I didn't rush in yelling. I didn't break the window. I turned around silently, walked back to my truck, sat behind the wheel, took a deep breath, and made 3 phone calls. The kind of calls that don't end with conversation. They end with justice. That night I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't stop seeing my father's tired, ashamed face. I rented a small condo, just 3 miles away, and immediately started putting a plan together. The first step was simple. I needed to know exactly what was happening inside that house every single day. So I called my old Army buddy Ray, who now runs a private security firm in Savannah. I told him everything I had seen. He didn't ask questions. He just said, "Give me 4 hours." By 2 a.m., his professional team had slipped into the property and installed 12 military-grade pinhole cameras in strategic locations, living room lights, kitchen plants, bedroom smoke detectors, even the basement vent. No noise, no trace. The encrypted feed came directly to my laptop. And for the next 72 hours, I watched it all. Every heartbreaking detail. Every morning at 5:30, I saw the basement door being unlocked from the outside. Dad would emerge slowly, limping badly, still wearing that gray uniform. He slept down there every single night, in a small concrete room with no window, just a single cot, a thin worn blanket, and one dim hanging bulb, a heavy padlock on the door from the outside. While my brother James and his wife, Claire, enjoyed the master suite upstairs with silk sheets and ocean views, my father, the true owner of that home, was locked away, like a prisoner when he wasn't needed for cooking or cleaning. It destroyed me to watch it hour after hour. I knew I couldn't just charge into the house in a blind rage. That would ruin everything. I needed hard, undeniable evidence, the kind that holds up in court. So I called my old Army buddy Ray, who now runs a private security firm out of Savannah. I told him what I had seen through that kitchen window. He didn't waste time asking questions. He just said, "I'll have a team there tonight. By 2 a.m., His professional crew had quietly entered the property and installed 12 military-grade pinhole cameras in every key location. Behind light fixtures in the living room, inside potted plants in the kitchen, in the smoke detectors upstairs, even in the vent down in the basement. No noise, no lights, no trace they were ever there. The encrypted feed streamed directly to my laptop in real time, and for the next 72 hours, I sat in that dark condo room and watched everything. Every single moment. Every act of cruelty. Every humiliation. I saw things that broke my heart over and over again. I didn't sleep. I barely ate. I just watched, recorded, and planned. Because rage without proof is just noise. But rage with evidence, that becomes justice. With the cameras rolling and the evidence building, I needed one final piece. A way to get inside the house one more time without being recognized. So I created a completely new identity. David Harrington, a wealthy real estate investor from Texas looking for trophy properties on the East Coast. Ray's team built the entire legend. A professional website, LinkedIn profile, business cards, even fake references who would confirm everything if anyone called. I shaved off the beard I'd grown overseas. Got a high-end haircut, put on a $5,000 tailored suit, added prop glasses and practiced a slight Texas drawl. The man in the mirror didn't look anything like the battle-hardened contractor who left 12 years ago. Then I called my brother James and made the offer they couldn't refuse. $5.5 million cash for the house, fast closing, no contingencies. Greed did the rest. The next day, they welcomed David Harrington with open arms and sweet tea. Claire smiled like she'd already spent the money. James was nervous but eager. They gave me the full tour. The chef's kitchen, the infinity pool, the private dock. I nodded, took notes on my tablet, acted impressed. But my mind was only on one thing, getting them to open that basement door. They hesitated when I asked to see the basement. It's just storage, Claire said quickly. But I insisted. My clients need climate-controlled space for wine and art collection. I have to see every square foot. $5.5 million was too much to risk losing. James's hands shook as he took out the keys and unlocked the heavy padlock. The door creaked open, and there was my father, sitting on his thin cot in that same gray uniform, reading his old worn Bible under the dim bulb. He looked up at the stranger in the expensive suit, and for a second there was only confusion. I stepped inside, closed the door behind me, took off the glasses, wiped away the subtle makeup that aged my face, and whispered, "Dad, it's me, Michael, I'm home." His eyes widened in complete shock. He tried to stand, but his legs gave out from weakness. I caught him before he fell. He weighed almost nothing in my arms. He grabbed my shirt and started sobbing uncontrollably, like a child who had lost all hope and suddenly found it again. "They told me you were dead. They showed me papers. They said you were gone forever." I held him tight and said, "I'm here now, Dad, I'm alive, and I'm taking you out of this place today. You're never coming back here." We cried together in that dark basement for what felt like forever. 12 years of separation, 6 months of hell, all pouring out in that one embrace. Behind us, James and Claire stood frozen in the doorway, mouths open, realizing the trap had just closed. I turned slowly to face them and said in a cold, calm voice, "Hello, James. Hello, Claire. Surprised to see your dead brother?" I held up my phone showing live feeds from all 12 cameras. "The police have been listening to everything through the wire I'm wearing. They're outside right now." Sirens started in the distance and grew louder. Within minutes, Hilton head PD officers stormed into the living room. James dropped to his knees, crying and begging for forgiveness. Claire screamed that it was all a lie, that she needed her lawyer immediately. They were both handcuffed, right there among the expensive furniture and marble floors they thought they owned. As they were let out, Claire spat venomous words at me. But James just kept repeating, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." I didn't say a word to them. I only helped my father up the stairs and out into the sunlight he hadn't felt freely in months. We sold the big waterfront mansion as soon as the courts released it. There were too many painful memories in those walls. Instead, we bought a small cedar cottage on Fripp Island, just 3 bedrooms, a wraparound porch with rocking chairs, and a quiet view of the marsh, paid cash. No more showing off. No more pretending to be something we're not. Just a simple, peaceful home where the only sounds are waves, birds and the wind and the palmetto trees. This is the life Dad always wanted. Not the luxury, but the quiet. Not the showpiece house, but a real home. Dad is healing now, day by day. Every spring he gets down on his knees in the garden and plants tomato seedlings with those same hands that once rebuilt engines. He smiles real smiles again, the kind that reach his eyes. He walks the beach every morning with a cane, breathing in the salt air, watching the sunrise paint the sky gold. The arthritis is getting better with proper treatment and rest. He's gaining weight, sleeping through the night in a real bed, eating full meals at a real table. After 6 months of cruelty and confinement, seeing him free and happy again, that's the greatest victory I could ever ask for. Every single evening, we sit together on the old porch swing and watch the sun set over the marsh. The sky turns from orange to pink to deep purple. The herons fly home across the water. The air smells of salt and pluff mud. Dad leans his head on my shoulder and says quietly, "Son, you gave me my life back. And more importantly, you gave me back my dignity." I always answer the same way. You never lost your dignity. Dad, they tried to take it from you, but I brought you home. If your parents are still here, please pick up the phone today. Go visit them. Send that message you've been putting off, because money can always be earned later. Jobs can wait, but time waits for no one. And one day you might come home to find the person who raised you has been suffering in silence, and you'll wish with everything in you that you had come home sooner. Drop a comment below. When was the last time you called your dad? Or your mom? Maybe today is the day to change that.